Today I'm working from home because the shop is full of marauders and I'm waiting on parts to rebuild the engine. So I figured I'd put some lower control arms, some rear lower control arms on my GT500. And this is going to be interesting to me because I've been getting some wheel hop out of this thing, mainly on the right rear during first gear acceleration. Why it's interesting is because it's easy to blame the clutch. This does have a MclLeod clutch in there. I'm not sure what it is, but I can see the red. It looks like a MclLeod clutch. And it's easy to blame the clutch for chattering. But this car has been lowered, which can change the angle of the rear control arm. And it's still got factory control arms. So I do need to do the rear main seal on this thing. And I want to identify whether or not I need to replace the clutch when I go in there. So I'm going to put these lower control arms on and see if that helps with the chatter, mainly in that right rear. So that also makes me kind of think it might be suspension related. Let me go out and see if I can get some video of just that one tire doing some chatter. Figures one time that I'm trying to record it, I'm not getting very much chatter out of it, but I think I was able to get a little bit of chatter out of it just to see. The thing does it quite often, but it wasn't that bad on this surface. Let me go ahead and take the wheels off of this thing, get it jacked up in the air. I got the wheel off, I got the suspension unloaded, and I just saw that the parking brake goes right through the factory lower control arm. So if you got your parking brake on, make sure you turn that off so you can disconnect the line from it. Yeah, here's what I got. I got Whiteline upper control arm. I'm not going to put this on yet. This is KTA 204. I think I'm going to wait on that one until I get the solid drive shaft. And then I'll set the pinion angle. I do got KTA 158, which is the lower control arms. I'm also going to put these brackets in here. These are the relocation brackets, KBR 37. When you lower the car, that control arm can get to a different angle, and these are supposed to bring that control arm back to being level. So let me open these up and see how they look. Now, right off the bat, these things feel beefy. I mean, they are pretty stout. The control arms and this relocation bracket are pretty beefy. Whiteline always includes stickers. They got some directions. Sometimes they're not the best because they're in Australian or whatever, but they do include directions. But if looking over the directions, it's pretty straightforward. However, it looks like they recommend having the weight of the vehicle on the axle. So I'm going to change that around. But when you look at these control arms, they do got a little bushing that sticks out. And this is how they would be oriented on the vehicle if this is the right and this is the left. That thick bushing is towards the back of the vehicle and points to the center. So I'm going to go ahead and change my jack stand setup and then start taking that factory control arms off. All right, we're going to get this parking brake out of here. Oh, dang, that's pretty easy. Didn't need any tools there. So that just kind of comes out. Now let's see, I think this clip will come off of here. Now we just removed 18mm bolts from either end here. I imagine these are going to be pretty tight. And the control arm should come out of there. Alright, this one is way better than the stamped steel looking one. This is the factory one. This is the Whiteline one. Man, that's awesome. Before I go and put these brackets on there appears to be a difference left and a right one. You can see this has like an angle on it, and this one does not have an angle on it. So I'm going to take a look at the directions. Yeah, no, I'm not supposed to. I'm just supposed to figure it out. But I'm going to look at the directions, see which one goes on the driver's side that we're working on now. Okay, so this one with the angle is the driver's side, and the way it goes on here is we got to take this panhard bar bolt out, at least slide it back some, and then that bolt is going to go through this hole right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take that thing loose. All right, I got this bolt backed out a little bit. I need to get this thing started, but not tighten it down all the way. So I'm gonna slide it up until I can get that bolt through there. It's catching right here on this part. I don't know if I can pry it over there, or I'm gonna have to get out the old persuasion hammer. I'm just gonna give it a few taps on the bottom here, see if I can't get it to go up in there. Alright, I got it up into place. I just kind of put it in. The hammer, I couldn't force it in there. But when I went in at a little bit of an angle, I was able to get it in far enough, and then kind of just using the hammer to help tap it around a little bit. I have the nut, or I have the bolt going through there. So now I'm going to fish the bolt, or I'm sorry, the nut up in it, and get that started. I think I might have actually got my nuts mixed up. I think this smaller one is the one that goes for the panhard bar. Let me back this thing back out of here. Here's a side-by-side comparison. I don't know if it would really matter if I use this one up in there. This is the same size nut, but I'm gonna put this one in there. They also want it oriented so that it's kind of like this, at this little angle, probably so it'll go inside this hole here. And now I'm gonna put this got golden spacer in here, and this nut that's too long and hitting on our jack stand. That's cool. I'm gonna raise this up and get this jack stand out of the way so I can put this through. Now I'm gonna slide this jack stand over. Hopefully this thing doesn't fall on me. Now I'm gonna put the bolt through and the spacer on there. So on the back side of this mount, there's a hole here, a threaded hole that the factory used to have a counterweight on there, just a weight on it. And it says to put this little spacer in between the bracket and the mount, and the axle. This doesn't seem to be lining up very well, but I'm gonna see if I can't get it to cross thread in there tight. Maybe get it in there correctly. We'll see. All right, don't forget to tighten the panhard bar bolt to 130. I got this the spacer attached to tightened to 130, and I got this little guy over here cross threaded all the way in, so hopefully that'll help hold it. Okay, so now I'm going to get the front of this control arm in here. Now the back side of this front bolt, you have to kind of get this washer in here. It's got these two little arms that it sits in, so you set it down in there, and then you can tighten the bolt accordingly. And now it says to just raise this thing up in here, get the bolt started. I think you could probably use the factory bolt if you wanted to, but I'm going to use the supplied 100mm. This says that the directions say you might need to use a pry bar, I imagine, to try and pull this in to get the holes to line up. We'll see. Alright, this hole is nowhere close to being lined up. It says you could use a pry bar, but what I like to do is take my jack and put it on the nose of the differential, and that can sometimes pivot this whole axle to get it to align, the hole to align. Let's see. Alright, I got it a little closer. Now when it's this close, you can use something to try and kind of move it around. This extension, be careful, probably break this thing. The directions want the bolt to come through the back side. I don't know if I need to move that jack stand again. But I'm going to keep working on it, see if I can't get it to move a little bit closer. Alright, so I was able to get it to line up. I brought the jack over here I jacked up on the control arm until it was kind of in line here, and then I moved the jack back to the pinion, up at the front of the pinion, and moved my jack stand over here because my bolt was in the way. So I had the jack stand on the outside of the axle, and then I jacked up on the pinion until it got really close, and then I was able to hammer it all the way through. So hopefully I didn't damage these threads too bad. Might be cross-threading this thing on all the way. But now I'm going to go ahead and tighten this and the front one to 130, and I think that one's 130 as well. Alright, so I got that thing all tightened up. Looks pretty good. Matches the sway bar. Let's see if I can get this parking brake reattached. It says to go around the outside. All right, now I'm going to start on the driver's side. The directions say only do one side at a time. That's a good idea because you don't want the whole axle rotating on you, getting out of control. But I'm going to go ahead. It should be pretty similar to the other side. I'm going to go ahead and pop the parking brake off and then get that control arm out of there. All right, so that's done. It's all, I got all dirty. I mean, I washed up, but it's a dirty job because this thing's got that rear main seal leak. I would take a video similar to what I tried to take earlier with hopefully some of the wheel hop, but it's dark out, so I'm going to take it for a drive and see how it feels. All right, so that wraps up this installation. Like I said, I'm sure there's a million other videos out there with lower control arms, but I wanted to see if it would help with the chatter that I was getting. What I initially thought was from the clutch, but after driving it, I only drove around the neighborhood and up the driveway. I feel like the rear suspension definitely had something to do with it. So if you got some chatter and you think it might be from, or like a little bit of wheel hop, and you think it might be from your clutch, don't be too quick to blame your clutch. It could be the suspension. I'm really happy with those Whiteline lower control arms right now. They look great. They look way beefier than the factory ones. I'll let you know if anything changes in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Make sure and subscribe for more Mustang content.